What's up? How you doing? It's me back again, Analog Attack, and welcome to part 2 of Hardcore Punk Vinyl Bargain Bin Singles. Thanks for joining me. If you remember, in the first part, I was explaining recently here in Osaka City, Japan, I've been scavenging through the cheap bins in a few record shops, mainly Punk and Destroy, Revenge Records, a little bit of Time Bomb, and a couple of others. It's been a lot of fun, just rummaging around, picking out some bargain hardcore punk 7-inch singles. I kind of explained a little bit about my feelings about that in the last episode, to go back and check that one out if you haven't seen part 1. So today I've got a nice stack of tasty platters to have a little look at. They're all cheap, 100 yen, 200 yen, maybe a couple 300 yen, but all cheap bargain bin stuff. And yeah, I think they're all really good records, I think. So without further ado, let's do a little cheers. Cheers everyone, hope you're doing well. I've just done a couple of new Iron Maiden episodes with Chris Corrie, Piece of Maiden. They'll be up soon, so look forward to those. So let's get to it, shall we? So right out of the gates, here's a little ripper for you. Split EP, Flat Earth Records, 1997. Two bands. This band, Hard to Swallow, or Hard to fucking Swallow as they call themselves on this one. Flat Earth Records, short-lived band out of Nottingham. Such a good band, a little bit sludgy. They have a discography LP out now on the Armageddon label, run by the one and only Mr. Ben Barnett from Drop Dead. So check that out. It's a good way to check out all their material in one place. So this is Hard to Fucking Swallow. Of course, they got Gord's on vocals. He later went on to Geriatric Unit with Cal from Heresy. Great band, one of a kind band. And on the other side, a split single, we've got Manfat. Now, I don't know much about Manfat, to tell you the truth. I think they were from Leeds. But what I was sort of blown away to find out was that this was produced by Andy Sneap, who of course has gone on to produce all this like huge heavy metal bands. He plays in Judas Priest now, but back in 1997 he was producing Manfat from Leeds. Great split, classic stuff. Staying in the same ballpark, Health Hazard, a band that featured, of course, the one and only Sned from Flat Earth Records. This record isn't on Flat Earth. It's on a French label called Minstrel Records, talking about Health Hazard. And their absolute scorching 7-inch EP, Not Just a Nightmare. And talking of producers, we're just talking about Andy Sneap. The producer of this ferocious little number is a lad called Slasher Talbot. Wonder who that could be. Well, I actually did do a little bit of research, and of course it's none other than Bry Doom from Doom. So he produced this record. Brutal stuff. Health Hazard. Again, they've got a discography LP out too on Flat Earth. Alright, leaving England, let's go down to Texas and some Killer D beat from 2005, Austin, Texas. BSA, or the Bastard Sons of Apocalypse. I think this is their first EP. Yep, it's on Distort Reality Records, who put out a lot of great stuff. It's great D beat. You've got the one and only Eddie Leal on vocals. Of course, he also went on to be in Vasca and Creaturas and a whole bunch of other bands. Great guy, great single. BSA, the Bastard Sons of Apocalypse on Distort Reality out of Minneapolis. This is Skell's label, right? Skelly? Am I right? Yeah, pretty sure I'm right. Okay, staying in the States, different part of the country though. Richmond, Virginia, and out on Grave Mistake Records, which is an amazing label. They've got so much good stuff. I'm talking about this band. Got two singles by them actually. Their LP's great too. Real great, real proper like US hardcore punk. Wasted Time, and then Wasted Time, the No Shore EP. And of course this band featured Mr. Brandon Ferrell, rest in peace to him. He played in so many good bands, as you probably know. Direct Control, Government Warning. He was in Municipal Waste. He plays on so many good records. He's obviously sorely missed. And it's funny because I found another one of his bands, maybe a little bit of a lesser known band. Only put out one single. It's like Italian. They sing Italian song titles. This band, Pocodio, Nessun Posto Per Me, and this came out on Lenguada Armada Discos, which of course is Martin from Los Crudos' legendary label. This is a great single, Porcodia, featuring Brandon Ferrell. Great record. Staying in the States, this time San Francisco, Violent Minds. This is their like third or fourth EP. This is burly hardcore. It's on Deranged Records, this one. And this band featured none other than Mr. Casey Watson. I wonder what he's doing now. Used to chat with him a bit online, and I haven't seen him for a while. He's in that band with Lars from Rancid now, isn't he? The name of the band's, I forget the name of the band. How can I do that? But you know what I'm talking about. But this is a great burly, heavy hardcore record. Violent Minds just kicked in. I like the artwork on this too, with the drugs, the pills on the front cover. All right, let's get out of the States. Let's go over to Brazil, and a legendary band that actually started in the 80s. But this is, I don't know, I mean, Discogs is telling me that this is their first EP, but it didn't come out until 2005. Of course, I'm talking about Armageddon. Of course, Forca Macabra from Finland, greatly influenced by this band. They did a split together. Really raw, metallic, thrashy hardcore. And this record, as I said, is the first EP. Came out on Absurd Records from Brazil, which is sort of kind of a legendary grind record. They put out tons of all the classic Brazilian grind, like Rot, stuff like that. So great band, one of a kind band, raw, thrashy hardcore out of Brazil. Great band. I love them to death. Okay, let's move on to the wonderful country of Sweden, and a band called Empathy. Not a very prolific band. They had this one single and a 10-inch, I think. This single's called Rapunk Records. It's on a label called BIM Records. It's that Swedish raw kind of D-beat sound from the era. 1999. It's quite old now, isn't it? But this one was produced by a guy called Krista Lindblad, and he played in Driller Killer and Libresse and the Perukas. So maybe a little, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a under the radar Swedish D-beat scorcher from the late 90s. Empathy and their 7-inch EP, Rapunk. Lovely stuff. Alright, let's go back to the States, and a 7-inch split picture disc. Ooh, what a nutty format that is. But obviously two legendary Minneapolis crust hardcore bands. Let's get the picture disc out. Let's have a little look at what like a picture disc looks like. Here we go. We've got the dudes on this side, and then yeah, another picture on the back. But yeah, funny format, the split 7-inch picture disc, but great record. It's on Clean Plate Records, and this came out in 1996. It's a must if you kind of want to complete your Misery discography. Arthrash, pretty good band actually. Drunk Punk, I got the LP as well. It's good stuff when you're having a few tipples of an evening. Okay, let's stay in the States. Let's go over to Connecticut, New Haven, and a fellow called Mr. Bill Chamberlain played the guitar on this record, Mankind, and this is a political hardcore. Of course, Bill went on to play, or he played in so many good bands: The Pissed, Behind Enemy Lines, Caustic Christ, Broken, React. And so yeah, this is a good record. They had a split EP with Dirt too, right? Am I right? Yeah, I think they did. And so this is Mankind. First single. Won't you join the army now so you can fight and you can die? Great record. Sweden. Flyfan. Swedish hardcore punk. Not so DBT, more kind of thrashy hardcore. I'm talking about Flyfan. This is their first EP. Again, it's on Feral Ward Records, of course. The label run by the mighty Yannick from Tragedy. It's a great little speedy hardcore thrashy 7-inch EP. Flyfan, Sweden. Didn't write the date down. I think it's early 2000s, mid 2000s maybe. So from Sweden, let's go to Finland, and an old band that only did a demo and one single when they were around, but it's classic Finnish hardcore from 1983. Talking about Tampere, SS, and this one was just a demo cassette tape back in the day, but Felix Havoc put it out as a 7-inch single on his Havoc Records label, so thanks to him. And then he also reissued the first 7-inch, this one, which actually Fight Records from Finland put this one out too, but this is the Havoc Records version. So kudos to Felix von Havoc for bringing these kind of rare and really hard to get old Finnish classics. Tampere SS from 1983, classic Finnish hardcore. Now, staying in Finland, a little bit of a more contemporary band. They were formed in 2005. They put out 4 EPs and an LP or 2. I've got at least 1 LP by them, but I found 3 of their EPs in sort of one fell swoop. I'm talking about this band. Let's have a little look. There we go. Kieltolaki, and so this is the second EP. This is the third or second. I've got them mixed up in the order a little bit, but yeah. So I've not got the first one. So that's second, third, and fourth EPs, and they all came out on 3 different labels. So this one is came out on Muka Records from the States, and then this one Kick Rock from France stroke Japan, and then this one, there you go, the mighty Feral Ward put this one out. So 3 EPs, 3 different labels. Great Finnish hardcore, sort of carrying the torch for Tampere SS and all those old classic Finnish bands from the 80s, right? And this is an interesting band. I didn't know anything about them. It was like 20 yen or something ridiculous, and I just picked it up, didn't know anything about the band. It's a band called the Manchurian Candidates, and they were also from Austin, Texas. This is their first EP, came out in 1996 on Big City Bastards Records, and they put out an LP about 4 years later. They changed their style quite a bit. This is quite raw lo-fi hardcore, but the LP is real heavy, almost like a sort of Rorschach, Born Against, early Neurosis kind of sounding record. And I was talking to Ken Prank, and he said that he wanted to sort of work with them because he liked the LP so much, but unfortunately they broke up, so that LP or second LP or whatever they're going to do never materialized. But really good band. I think the LP is better, I forget the name of it, but Manchurian Candidates put out 1 LP, and this is a good single too. So mid-90s, early 2000s, Austin, Texas hardcore, great stuff. Okay, let's have a little look at a couple of bands from Cleveland, both with a connection, and that connection would be Mr. Tony Erber. There we go. This is the H1000 Texas Deathmatch EP. Again, Havoc Records, 1995. Great meat and potatoes hardcore. But of course, this band will disband, and out of the ashes of this band was born 9 Shocks Terror, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows. This is like a bit of a later career entry from 9 Shocks Terror, and this is Dutch pressing this EP on Even Worse Records from Amsterdam. I'm sure everyone is familiar with Nine Shocks Terror. Good stuff. Okay, let's go back to Sweden, and this is kind of cool. I don't like the artwork on this. It doesn't sort of match the music at all. It looks kind of a saucy garage rock record or something. But two great bands, Obliteration, and this band from Sweden, they were formed in 2003. I think that the sort of most important thing, or one of the interesting things about this band, of course, it has Yellow Leto in the band, who's played in like almost every Swedish D-beat and hardcore band out of Sweden. Discharge, Krigsshot, No Security, Totalitar, Meanwhile, Dysphere. He's played in them all. He's a really important figure in the history of Swedish hardcore. So that's Obliteration, who I'm probably pronouncing wrong. But on the other side, it's a band called Nitad, who I didn't know anything about. I had to sort of look them up a little bit. But I found out that the bassist is a guy called Henrik, and he is the bass player of that band Viagra Boys, who are kind of getting quite big now, aren't they? They're sort of picked up by the Sleaford Mods, and I've seen interviews with them where one of the members is wearing a Discharge shirt, and sometimes you think when it's a sort of band that's a little bit bigger, they're like, oh, do they really know, are they really into hardcore punk or whatever? But obviously this guy Henrik, he's a legit hardcore punk rocker, and this is one of the bands he plays in. Nitad, good single, but I don't like the artwork, but never mind. Okay, for the last few, let's move around a little bit. Let's go to Germany. 1992, this band, MVD, Mundeswelt DP. It's the full name of the band. This is interesting. It's like German hardcore, but it's kind of crusty. It's a little bit power violence-y. This is on Rodell Records. There you go. That's the back. It's got a real like DIY feel to the whole package, but someone was saying that it sounds like creator meets hiatus. Not sure about that, but it's definitely really crusty, quite a unique kind of sounding band. MVD, Stagnation of Thinking, More Power by Money, Rodale Records, 1992. Lovely stuff. Okay, I've got two more for you. This is a good one. This is a kind of short-lived band called Obliteration, who put out a few EPs, and I kind of realised that my mate Chris Corrie is in this band, or was in this band. Of course, if you've been watching Analog Attack, you know he's a really good guest. He's really knowledgeable. As I said, I'm doing my Iron Maiden, Piece of Maiden series with him at the moment, but I was talking to him a little bit this morning, and he said that this is the best EP that they did, so I'm kind of happy that I got this one. And then Cooch, Chris Minicucci, was also in this band, but they've all sort of given themselves nicknames: Jigs, Mad Mick, Brumby, Kipper, and Squits. And I asked Chris, which one were you? And he said, I think I was Mad Mick, was his answer. Great guitar work by Mad Mick on this record. It's like US hardcore, but it's got like that sort of old UK influences with some like Discharge thrown in there. Really, really good record. Obliteration from 2009. The record's called This Is Tomorrow. And as I was finishing up, I was thinking, well, let's sort of finish off with something more contemporary. And this band is contemporary in the fact that they had their last LP was out in 2009. I loved that LP. The band's called Sudor. They've been around quite a long time. I was quite surprised actually. But hardcore punk band from Toledo, Spain. And this is their first EP on Solar Parapunks Records. It's raw hardcore Spanish punk. Really catchy. I've got a couple of their LPs and another single, I think, but that most recent LP is really good. It's got that really raw production sound, but it's also like a really, really catchy songwriting. So, but actually this record came out in 2009 too, the same year as that Obliteration 7-inch did. So, you know, contemporary band actually, but this single goes back a few years. So there you go. That was it. That was part 2 of my bargain bin finds, hardcore punk in the bargain bins. You know what? I like doing these, so I think I'm going to do a part 3, because I know I've got another stack up there behind me in the boxes. So, as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, stay healthy and stay clean.